Welcome back to the show. We are now joined by guards Kevin Gillespie and Vince Kmiec. Thanks so much for coming on, guys.
Thanks for having us.
So Kevin, let's start with you. What was the thought of this team, going into this weekend down in St. Louis?
We just wanted to show up and play our best basketball, not be afraid of the moment, but also take in everything that was around us and knowing that none of us had been there before. Just play our game, not try to go outside of ourselves and try to make plays that we can't make. And we knew that if we all just stayed within ourselves, we'd compete and have a good chance at winning.
Yeah, it seemed like even when this team was on the court, it was calm, collected, and it knew basically what its strengths were and what it had to do to win.
Yeah, and that was really important for us in both games when both teams made runs there in the second half, where we knew that we shouldn't get outside ourselves and take shots that weren't us and wasn't within our offense. And staying, being an experienced team and staying within ourselves was what kept us in the game and allowed us to win.
So after the 2 wins, Vince, how is this team feeling? I mean, you guys got a little chance to let it sink in. You guys are moving on to the Sweet 16 for the first time in school history. Is it still clicked in yet?
We're still staying focused on what we're trying to get accomplished here, but not trying to move ahead too much.
But, now that the team has moved on, are you guys now thinking about this next round, or are you just pleased with Sweet 16?
No, we're definitely not pleased just to be here, but I mean, we know that if we play our best basketball, we can beat any team that's still left out there.
And Coach, talk about the contingency of fans that joined the Cardinals this weekend down in St. Louis. I mean, they were handing out T-shirts, towels, and the Cardinal fans were really giving it to even the home Washington University fans.
Well, our fans were terrific. I mean, our kids really enjoyed it. Coaches really enjoyed having them. I wasn't sure what to expect going in, and when we came out even the first night, I thought we had a lot more fans in Rose-Hulman. And then the second night, I mean, when I came out right before the game, it seemed like we had more fans than Wash U, and then the students finally showed up for Wash U. And but they were terrific. I mean, they made a lot of noise, had a lot to cheer about. It was a great game, great environment. Hopefully we can continue with that as we head into Worcester.
And it seems like you guys have had to deal with those type of environments all year. Vince, what is it like playing in the CCIW when you get some of those fans from Augustana, Wheaton? I mean, it almost like it prepares you for an environment like the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, when you play those away games, Wheaton, Augie, Wesleyan, those games are tough. Those fans get in your face. But I think it makes the games more enjoyable. You got something to kind of play against, and it really gets you going. And now it's prepared us well for the tournament, I think.
And one guy that's really been going these past couple weeks, Vince, is the guy sitting right across from you. Talk about, the senior Kevin and what he's meant to this team. I mean, Coach referred to it earlier. He's playing almost all 40 minutes of every game. What does this, Kevin mean to the team when he's on the floor?
He's the glue that keeps us together out there. I mean, he does play pretty much 40 minutes every game. And when we're out there, we know if we need something, we go to him for it. And he's been playing great so far this tournament.
Well, over the last 2 weeks, the Cardinals senior leader has stepped up his game to help propel his team into championship contention. That's the focus in this week's What's the Word?
Kevin Gillespie, what can I say? I've said it many times. He's our senior captain, best point guard CCIW, might be the best point guard in the land. You don't see it in stats. I mean, he hit 22 tonight, obviously, so there's his stats. But some nights he has 8 points, 6 assists, but he just manages the game. Like, he keeps in our runs, our sets, that type of stuff.
Kevin, that's it. Kevin Gillespie. He's our man, and he's our captain. I mean, he took over when we needed him, and we weren't losing today, and it was all him.
Well, Kevin's our leader out there on and off the floor. When he's on the bench, he's out there yelling. When he's on the floor, he's out there, Without Kevin, he's a big part of our offense, and keeping us in sync. Without Kevin, this game probably would have been a different story, He's a great leader out there, and we look up to him, and he carried us the whole way.
Yeah, I think everyone remained calm. Our senior Kevin stepped up, hit big threes, big shots. His free throws were huge too, especially late in the game. And Kevin, again, another huge night, and that's big for us. There's so many guys on this team that can score, and when Kevin gets going, everyone else feels confident, and everyone else starts knocking down shots as well.
Kevin, talk about these past couple of weeks and sort of how your game has elevated. It seems like it really started in that second half of the Wheaton game in the CCIW tournament.
I talked to Coach Mitch Reardon at halftime. He just told me, don't let this be your last half of basketball here at North Central, and that really kind of woke me up a little bit. That this really is kind of winding down, and I just wanted to go out and enjoy the game really, and that kind of loosened me up. And with teams focusing so hard on Landon and Derek, it really gets me open shots, and thankfully they've been going in lately.
And Mitch was a player for the Cardinals as well and had to, have his career end, but you still going. You've probably played your last game in Myrna Fieldhouse, but you could still end up as a winner here at North Central.
Yeah, and it's really exciting, and to be a part of this group and this team and to do what we're doing is really special, and I just don't want to see it end. So we're going to keep working hard, and we're not satisfied with where we're at. We want to work and get to Salem as much as we can, and that's a dream of mine since I got here and a dream of everybody on this team. And now that we have a chance to make that dream a reality, we're really pushing for it.
How many ice bags and icy hot, wipe downs are you going through after you play 40 minutes all game?
I try to get an ice bath after every game, and then Gatorades and bananas and everything. But the media timeouts have really been helping out, and just throughout the year we've been training. Coach pushes us really hard throughout practices. That gets us really ready for this. And you're thankful. You don't like it during the beginning of the year when you have to go through it in practices, but you're really thankful now at this time where it comes down the stretch and you're still going with 2 minutes left in the game and everybody else is getting a little tired.
And Vince, you're part of that group that's, it's almost like a hockey lineup where you guys are, constantly shifting guys out to create different matchups. What is it like, coming into the game, then heading down, and within, 2 seconds you could be right back up into that game?
Yeah, you just got to always be ready. At any moment, something could happen, fouls, or somebody gets hurt or anything, but you just got to be ready when your number's called.
And Coach, you like to call the number of guys to sort of bring energy into the game. Seems like on that bench you got a lot of high motor guys, and Charlie Rosenberg, CJ Goldthry, guys that really come in and give you some quality minutes.
Well, they have been. They've been giving us very good minutes off the bench, and they each do something a little bit different than what's on the floor at that time. So it's been nice to have that change when they do come in here. And CJ was somebody that started for us earlier in the year, and then went through about a 2-week stretch where he had a concussion and set out. And we seemed to be playing pretty well at the time with him out, and then I just hated to change the rotation with Vince, so we kept our rotation the same. Our starters have been the same practically since Christmas, so but it's worked, and so most coaches are pretty superstitious, so we kind of stuck with what has got us so far, and we'll continue to do the same.
And your starters have been the same, but it seems like almost every game there may be 5 different guys ending the game on the floor. Is it sort of like a puzzle for you to find just what team is fitting best on that any given night?
Well, I don't know if it's a puzzle because they all do so many good things, and you can't expect every one of them to have a great game every night out. And unfortunately, when you get into the tournament, you have to have a great game every night out, and that's something that you can't. There is no tomorrow, and so they have to bring their A game. But I have a great coaching staff that has a lot of input into what's going on the floor during practice and that, and I trust what they're doing, and they really deserve most of the credit, to be real honest with you. But unfortunately, I get most of the credit, and I really don't. Shouldn't have. It should be those guys. But I've been pleased with our overall program, and that's something that it takes a lot of people to be successful, and we have that so far.
Well, we talked about the Cardinal fans, that have been down there this weekend, but talk about the other fans from Washington University. Kevin, like we said, you guys are similar to those environments, but that was a loud group of people there that were down at Washington University. Yeah,
it was, and I think we really thrive in environments like that. We like that. In conference, especially the conference tournament, Wheaton, the conference championship game, Wheaton's fans came out and were really loud and prepared us really well for it. But the second half there, where WashU started making a run and the crowd got really loud, and that kind of woke us up a little bit and got us going and made us realize that, hey, they're here to play and we need to step up our game too.
How much do you think of it was the fact that you guys weren't shooting into those fans in the second half?
Yeah, that's what I said after the game. It just seemed so simple to make those free throws at the end that I was just shooting like in practice, where there's nobody waving hands or yelling at me, just the distant noise of the people at the other end of the court, which is a big advantage for us.
Yeah, the free throws were big at the end of the game. You and Derek and the entire team go 18 for 20, in that second half. How important are those free throws? It seemed like every time you guys stepped to the line, it could be the biggest free throw of your career.
Yeah, in practice, in between each drill, we're shooting free throws, and coach is always telling us to focus and be prepared because free throws can win or lose a game, and we knocked them down and they won us the game.
Well, thanks so much for coming on, guys, and best of luck in the next round.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere, because coming up next, we have Clark Tusher stopping by to keep us up to date on all things North Central athletics. Don't go away.